Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. And it's time to talk Ashes cricket again. Flying solo tonight without Clem in action alongside me. Hopefully, he'll be back tomorrow to wrap the test as it closes out in a fifth day in one way or another. It's looking very likely it's going to go a certain way, but who knows? Weird things happen in Test cricket, but it certainly chips in on the Aussies at the moment. Of course, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure to hit subscribe down below. You can hit the bell button as well. That'll give you notifications every time we drop an episode or go live. So we'd love to have you along for the next one. Of course, you can also follow us on social media at The Chris Mack Show across all your favourite platforms. And let us know in the comments what you think of this video, what you think of the test so far, where have we got it right, where have we got it wrong with our hot or not so hot takes. But let's dig into the fourth day of play from the Adelaide Oval. And it was certainly one dominated by those in baggy greens, it's fair to say. Australia resumed at 4 for 271. Travis Head quickly passed his 150. Head and Carey racked up 150 partnership and the 300 for Australia inside the first 6 overs of the day. From there, though, the Aussies attempted to accelerate the game and the wickets fell steadily. Not a lot of tail resistance this time. Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon, Scott Boland and co. didn't offer a lot, all out for 349. The biggest asterisk, I guess you could put on it all in terms of performance, did Alex Carey leave twin tons out there? 72, he might have, but again, they had a job to do. They clearly wanted to get a bowl at the English, maybe in front of lunch, which is how it ended up playing out. As I said, all out for 349. It meant England chasing 435, as we talked about yesterday. That's a mammoth total. Something that has never been chased down in Adelaide, and very rarely in Test cricket have we seen numbers chased down in the 400s, as we know. It did give Australia a quick shot at the English. They had 2 overs before lunch, one for Starc, one for Cummins. Would they have liked a couple more? Certainly, but that's the way it was. It meant they needed to get the runs beforehand. And look, it worked. It wasn't Starc in the first over. It was Cummins taking Duckett, caught by Marnus in the slips, and the start of a very good day for the world's most hyped-up hype man in Marnus Labuschagne. He took that catch, and all of a sudden they were 1 down going into lunch. Advantage Australia, 9 wickets to get, as the English still had a big chase in front of them. Not long after lunch, and Ollie Pope joined the departed. Again, Cummins, this time from a very impressive catch by Marnus in the slips. Back-to-back efforts from him, diving well away. Took it in his fingertips, and he was up and about. I mean, when's he not up and about? But he was really up and about at this point. Showing his absolute heart on his sleeve behaviours, as we love to see at times. Sometimes it's a little much even for the Aussies. Pope again gone, though. A real question mark over the future of his career. Then the resistance. 79 and 68 run partnerships back-to-back. It gave a glimmer of hope from England, but they probably needed to go on a little bit more. First Crawley and Root, then Crawley and Brook. It looked like Zach Crawley just might be the saviour of England. Who would have thought that after a pair in Perth? But then in came the GOAT a little later on. First of all, we had Cummins taking the third wicket, caught behind by Carey. Then in came Gary this afternoon. Nathan Lyon, an 8-over spell with 3 for 15 late in the day to have England absolutely on the ropes. Some wonderful bowling to take a couple of wickets clean bowled, then a beautiful bit of stumping work from Alex Carey, the man who's been absolutely everywhere with a century, a 70, and now some great work behind the stumps, both catches and stumpings in this innings as well. So England, therefore, sit in a nervy position, still needing plenty of runs as it sits currently. So we'll wait and see what that comes of. But obviously the talking points from here with England needing 228 going into the final day. Let's start with Ollie Pope. You've got to feel the guillotine's just dropped on his head. He's going to be out of this test side, surely. Then we've got different options, whether they bring in Bethel as their next option, whether they reshuffle their opening bats and put Bethel in there and maybe bring a Crawley down a spot. I don't think they'll do that, but they've got Jacks that could go up, Brook that could go up, Stokes that could go up, even Joe Root can push up a spot. They've got to find a way to push Ollie Pope out because they've played 3 tests with 10 players with what he's contributed. On the other side of the coin, Trav and Kaz, Travis Head, Alex Carey, Trav Ball, Kaz Ball, whatever you want to call it at the moment. Give them the keys to Adelaide if we see all this here. Hometown heroes absolutely dominating, and I don't want to gloat too much, but I might have predicted it in our preview. But I'll tell you what, we are shaping up now for an 11-day Ashes retention. Here it comes on day 5 for the Aussies. The one thing that's frustrating me, though, Stop calling it retention. Yes, we will retain the Ashes, but we're winning the series here. It's a Ashes win, not an Ashes retention. Retention is a consequence of the win. Retention is when you talk about when you manage to hang on like we did in England last time around with a drawn series and we already held the urn. So let's call it an Ashes series win in 11 days, record time, and we'll break down the numbers tomorrow if it happens on record overs, all those sorts of fun things that we can pick apart. On the Aussie side, Josh Inglis, I think it's time to say goodbye. He's got to be out of the team for the Melbourne and Sydney Tests for now. We've seen so many great Aussies over the years get dropped, then reinvigorate their career and return to the side. Langer, Smith, and many, many more have done the job, and there's certainly no reason Josh Inglis can't be the same. Back to Shield cricket, back to working on it. He's got plenty of talent. He's just not quite performing. And I don't think we can have an out-and-out batter in that number 7 role anymore. So for mine, we talked about it yesterday. Cameron Green drops down to 7, Quasar down to 5. We bring Steve Smith back in, and we move on to Melbourne, and hopefully a Boxing Day demolition into a Sydney savaging. That's what we're looking for. We can't wait for it. But we've got to get through Adelaide first and see all this. But a clean sweep, how magnificent it could be if we could make it 5-0. The focus on tomorrow, well, the weather is something that we do have a slight eye on. Rain predicted at Adelaide from around 7 till 10 a.m. in the morning. Again, let's be honest, meteorologists and weather people don't always get these things right. It's a 50-50 call. It's either raining or it's not. It's sunny or it's not. Flip the coin. Get the answer. What are they doing? But only 5 mils predicted. Should have little to no impact. The Aussies only need 4 wickets from here. The English, as I said, chasing 228 runs. Surely from here. I mean, it would need something monumental for the English. We'll come to them in a moment. But the Aussies, 4 wickets. Gary to step up. That wicket's starting to turn. We saw Trav Head bowling this afternoon as well. Both of those guys. I reckon Gary gets another couple, gets a 5-fer. Again, go back to the tape. Check out the preview. I might have suggested it, but we'll wait and see. It's been a wonderful start to the 4 days so far. Let's hope we can get the 5th day with very little rain and get a result here, which we should. England, they need a huge partnership here from Jamie Smith, who, he's the Timu Smudge. He's nicknamed Smudge, but he's not Steve, is he? Let's be honest. But he does have a first-class average of 43. The bloke knows how to bat if he can knuckle down. He's got 12 tons in first-class cricket. He's also got a 43 average in Test cricket. 2 tons in 17 tests so far, a high score of 184 not out. They're going to need him to find that sort of form, 150 plus to chase this down. We then have a look at Jacks. We know he's been talked about as a higher order player. So he's a handy enough player to have batting down where he is at 8. Can he dig in, though, here against the Aussies? That's the big question. He's got a first-class average in the mid-30s. He's got a high score of 150. He's got 4 tons there. He's got a very limited sample size when we look at his Test career. I mean, he got his high score of 41 in his 3rd Test, which was last Test in Brisbane. This is only his 4th Test. But I tell you what, if there's a time to break the shackles, stand up and make your name, here it is, young man. Imagine the scenes. It'd cruel so many Aussie hearts if they manage to somehow fight back. They've got plenty of time to do it, but these two probably need to chalk down 160 or 170 minimum of these runs. A double-ton partnership would steal them home. Century each, what a story that could be. We've seen amazing Adelaide before. This would be just an aberration in Adelaide if we were to talk about it from an Aussie point of view, but they'd be exalted back home in England. We'll see what they can do. Is it likely? No. But hey, you're always a chance. You're telling me there's a chance if you're English. It's a bloody small one, but it exists. I think everything points to the Aussies getting the victory. The English, the faintest of hopes, but they've got to convince themselves the draw's no good. They need the win. They've got to shape back up for tomorrow for day 5 and try and see what they can do to add some hope, some life. But as we know, each of these tests, the further it's gone on, only 2 days in Perth, but as they've gone on further, the English have faded. And that's what I expect tomorrow. Aussies to seal this either just before or just after lunch. We're not getting into a 3rd session tomorrow unless the rain massively intervenes and flags up a lot more than is predicted. But as always, a big thank you to you for tuning in to another Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. Can't wait to see day 5. Can't wait to be back here talking to you tomorrow, hopefully about an Ashes series win and retention. Not just retention. But until then, don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You can find us on all of them at The Chris Mack Show. Till next time, big thanks for tuning in to your home of the black and white of sports. No grey opinions here.